Hey, it's Jeff from Home RenoVision, and today I am eating some humble pie and teaching you guys how to fix your cracked countertop. Yeah, when you drop it in place like I did and it breaks in half.
I got it.
How do you fix it? And you can do it on site. You don't have to lift it up again, which is glorious news, because this sucker was heavy. Now, if you saw the other countertop video, we have a video how we did the mold, how we're building this. You can click the video description below, but for today, we're just gonna go through the steps on how to do a repair. Now, this could hold true for a lot of different concrete repair jobs, okay? The goal here is to basically mend it together like you're fixing a broken leg with a plate and some screws. Really, it's kind of what concept we're going with. Only what we're gonna use today is some steel rod and some epoxy, all right? Then we're gonna go back to resurface the countertop, and then ultimately it will have a brand new looking, beautiful, sexy machine. But to do this today, we need to wear a mask. This is the best mask I've had in months. No, it's not an N95 dust mask for silicosis, but you can't find them anymore. So I am wearing the one I got from my dentist the other day because this is actually brilliant. It's the most comfortable thing I've worn in months. Now, we're gonna be using a grinder because, as you can see, my crack is pretty pronounced. It's right through, it's one side to the other, okay? I basically have two separate slabs sitting in place. So what I have to do is I have to fix this, I have to fix this, and I have to fix this, and there are some basic processes here to do that. One, you need a grinder. Whoa, that blade is not fit for use. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you see a grinder blade with the warp, stop what you're doing and throw it out. That means somebody dropped it on the ground. If I start cutting with that, it's gonna break and throw something in my face. So, be right back. The moral of the story is always inspect your tools before you use them, and don't take a chance and use them when they're in bad condition. It's just not necessary. That's how I've lasted so many years without having major accidents. This is a continuous rim porcelain blade. And it is brilliant. And it costs about 40 bucks. It's made in Korea. It's a Pearl product, and I haven't even seen Pearl on Amazon, but I buy them on my local flooring supplier. Well, flooring supplies supplier. Yeah, that's an actual business, right? And these guys sell concrete, and they sell carpet, underpad, and mortar, and all the sundries and tools for doing flooring and tile installation. So every town's got a company like this. Just go on Google. You can find one near you. You can save a fortune. It's also the answer to where I get underpad. Go to these guys because they're wholesalers and they'll sell to the public. You just go in there and tell them you want a really good quality underpad for whatever kind of floor you're installing, and they'll get it to you less than half price of a box store. All right, back to the video. Where's my power? Here we go. Step one, clean out all the loose broken bits. All right, now I'm gonna finish the rest of the table and we'll get to step two. Now, obviously, we're gonna have to put something in that crack as a bonding agent. We're gonna be using an epoxy, 2-part injection for that. What I wanna do is I want to install a steel rod here, like this, here, like this. We'll use the actual rod as a marker, okay? And I'm always going to mark to the right and to the top so that I get my measurements proper. Holds the same idea as doing a retaining wall with logs. So you have a log on the wall, and then behind the log you put a T on it, and that's holding all that weight of the situation. So when this is epoxy together, not only is it a bonding agent, but the grid work that's going to be worked here is going to be where most of the strength actually comes from. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to cut it all clean. Using a good pair of side cutters and a fair amount of strength will get this job done. The secret here is when you're cutting, cut as close to the inside gap as you can, because that's where the maximum leverage is. And if you need to use two hands, don't be embarrassed, because that is work. Yeah. You can only do so much of that without getting hurt, man. Okay, now listen, I would recommend when you're doing a grinder on concrete or masonry to wear safety glasses. I can't even find mine, so I'll wear my not so safety glasses. But they'll do the job for what I'm doing here. Our concrete is about 1.5 inches thick. I really just want to get down to the point where I'm going to go maybe 1/2 inch. That'll be enough to get this buried and not create such a cavity that it won't take 3 weeks for the mortar to dry again, right? That's the whole idea here. All right, after you've got the grind done and you're confident everything can sit in the epoxy, which is the goal here, you got to clean out all the dust. Gotta love tools with interchangeable batteries. The other option is to use your compressor and a blower. That seemed to be even a little bit more effective. So what I'm using here is the high strength anchoring epoxy, all right? This is basically a caulking gun for serious work. Oh man, I gotta get this off here. There we go. Now it's 2-part, okay? And the way that this works is you should have an empty cardboard box. Let's get rid of that piece of junk. Should have an empty cardboard box, because the goal here, if this even fits in this gun, there we go, tube's off center. Okay, you're gonna watch. I want to use the gun until I see both of these products coming out. There they are. Okay, now I screw on the cap, which is designed to blend them. All this little crazy stuff in here, so it comes out as one solid color. So what I'm supposed to do is just keep on pumping product in here until it comes out as one color. And that is achieved right there. Now we put this tube in the gaps, and I'm gonna lay a bead for my metal to sit in. That hopefully isn't gonna be too much product. I can't take that call. This is a little time sensitive. This stuff sets up in 20 minutes, so you just can't take a lot of time to get this done. I would love to take your call right now. Okay, here goes everything. We're just going to set the rod in there. Lovely. Oh, Matt's calling you now?
He can't because he's doing the epoxy right now at this moment. What do you want me to ask him? It's like, oh, I should just put you on speakerphone. Why not?
Yeah.
Clear translucent?
No. If it says translucent, it's not clear enough. Mono clear.
So mono clear slash translucent. Okay, this is mono clear. This is like a Dynaflex.
Dynaflex. Does it say silicone? Then it's not silicone.
Silicone Max. Clear white.
Silicone Max? Did you say
It's
you?
It's clear translucent and white.
3 different colors?
No, clear slash translucent.
Does it say silicone?
It doesn't.
Okay, just because it's in a caulking gun doesn't mean that it's silicone, dude. It's the same as what I just explained what I was doing. All right. I'm simply putting all of these in. Gonna be upside down, too. Just using a spatula to make sure that my epoxy isn't going to be like a ridge on my concrete.
Did your mic fall, buddy?
It's becoming abundantly clear to me that I'm going to have some epoxy on the countertop. I've got epoxy all over me now. What the hell? So, since I'm gonna have to fight with it, might as well fill in these gaps as much as I can now because it's only a 20-minute set time. That'll reduce the amount of mortar work that I've got to do later. All right. Okay, so I got my mortar mix made. It's the same stuff we use to make the countertop. The thing is that I made it a little bit, maybe a little bit thicker than I maybe should have this time. I would rather tool it and have a little bit of control. All right. Yeah, see how that, it usually flows a little better? But this is good because this allows me to really manipulate this stuff here, right? I want to try to avoid it running off the edge of the counter and just tool it to the edge. I can always go wet sand the edge back in, right? Oh, I love it. You know how the packages, they have instructions for mixing this stuff? By a bag at a time. When you're just doing a little bit, though, there's no way. You got to just kind of go with your gut. But turns out that I went a little bit too dry. I know this is looking really messy right now. When we're all done tooling and sanding, we'll be able to bring this back to something that's ready for slurry. And that's really the goal. This is not going to be a situation where we have a problem where we don't have enough. It's just going to be a problem where we have too much. All right? So while we're at it, I'm going to fill into my glass. Okay, so now because I've got this commitment to wet sanding this whole counter all over again, I'm using my big slurry mix here as a way to finish up to the glass. And that is going to just create an amazing seal. And I'm going to tool that in nice and tight. Well, there you go, she's fixed and she's beautiful. Now listen, what we're going to do after this is we're going to do some sanding, and so clean the glass up a little bit. It's not a big deal, all right? And if you don't believe me, then you're going to have to check the link out over here to go and see this video on how we built the countertop from start to finish, because the finished pictures of this countertop are in that video, and you can see if I know what I'm talking about. Cheers.